Your brain is lying to you every single day. You think your fear is real. Danger, risk, failure, embarrassment. Wrong. A Navy SEAL jumps out of a plane at 25,000 feet. Calm, controlled, focused. You hesitate to send an email. Same brain, same biology. So what's the difference? Your mind creates fear that isn't real, and top performers know how to shut it down. I'm about to show you exactly how they do it, and by the end of this, you'll never trust your fear again. Chapter 1. The false alarm system. Most people think fear protects you, keeps you safe. Wrong. Your brain hasn't updated in 200,000 years. It still thinks you're being hunted. That presentation? Your brain reads it as a tiger. That conversation, lion, that opportunity, death sentence. Psychologist Joseph Ledoux explains this clearly. The amygdala reacts before logic. Fear is not thinking, it's reflex. You feel fear before you understand why. That's the problem. Average people obey it. Elite performers question it. Your brain is like a smoke alarm, but it goes off when you make toast. Loud, urgent, completely wrong. But here's the problem though. If you treat every alarm as real, you shrink your life. No risks, no growth, no progress. That's why most people stay average. They're not weak. They're just listening to outdated software. Top performers don't. They ask one question: is this fear real or imagined? 90% of the time, imagined. Chapter 2. The prediction machine. Most people think fear comes from reality, something happening right now. Wrong. Fear comes from prediction. Your brain simulates the future. Bad outcomes, worst case scenarios. You fail, you embarrass yourself, you lose. None of it is real, but your body reacts like it is. Neuroscientist Lisa Feldman Barrett proved this. Your brain is constantly predicting, not reacting. Fear is a guess, a bad one. You're not afraid of speaking. You're afraid of what might happen. And your brain is terrible at predicting. It exaggerates everything. One mistake, your brain says total failure. One rejection, your brain says permanent humiliation. It's dramatic, overprotective, useless. But here's the thing though. Top performers train this system. They don't eliminate fear. They recalibrate it. How? They expose themselves to controlled stress. Public speaking, cold showers, hard conversations. Why? Because repeated exposure rewrites prediction. Psychologist Albert Bandura called this self-efficacy. You survive once, your brain updates. You survive twice, fear weakens. You survive 10 times, fear disappears. Average people avoid discomfort. Elite performers chase it. That's the difference. Hit subscribe before you forget this. We don't eliminate fear here. We reprogram it. Chapter 3. The illusion of danger. Most people think fear equals danger. Wrong. Fear equals uncertainty. That's it. If something is unfamiliar, your brain flags it. New job, new city, new skill, danger. Even if it's the best opportunity of your life, your brain doesn't care about success. It cares about certainty. That's why people stay stuck. Same job, same habits, same life. It feels safe, but it's not safe. It's just familiar. Psychologist Daniel Kahneman calls this loss aversion. You fear losing more than you value gaining, so you avoid action. Not because it's dangerous, because it's unknown. Top performers flip this. They train themselves to associate uncertainty with opportunity. Unknown equals growth, not threat. That's why they move faster. They're not fearless. They just interpret fear differently. But here's the problem, though. You can understand this logically and still feel paralyzed. Because fear isn't logical. So you need a system. Chapter 4. The override protocol. Most people try to calm down. Deep breaths, positive thinking, useless. You don't negotiate with fear. You override it. Top performers use a simple system. 3 steps. Step 1, label it. Say it clearly. This is not danger. This is discomfort. Labeling activates your prefrontal cortex. It shuts down emotional overreaction. Neuroscientist Matthew Lieberman proved this. Name the emotion, reduce its intensity. Step 2, shrink the threat. Your brain exaggerates scale, so you reduce it. Not this presentation will define my career. Instead, this is one conversation. Smaller problem, less fear. Step 3, act immediately, not later, now. Because hesitation feeds fear. The longer you wait, the bigger it gets. Mel Robbins calls this the 5-second rule. Count down, move. Action kills fear. Not thinking, not planning, action. Average people wait to feel ready. Elite performers act while afraid. That's the secret. Chapter 5. Fear is fuel. Most people think fear is the enemy. Wrong. Fear is energy. Heart rate up, focus sharp, adrenaline flowing. That's not weakness. That's performance mode. The problem is interpretation. You call it anxiety. Elite performers call it readiness. Same feeling, different label. Psychologist Kelly McGonigal studied this. When people interpret stress as helpful, performance improves dramatically. Fear becomes fuel, not limitation. That's why athletes perform under pressure. That's why entrepreneurs take risks. They feel fear, they use it. You feel fear, you stop. Same signal, different response. But here's the final problem, though. Even if you control fear, your brain will create new ones. Bigger goals, bigger fears, that never stops. So the goal isn't to eliminate fear, it's to stop trusting it. Your mind creates fear that isn't real. Most of the time it's just noise, outdated programming, bad predictions, false alarms. And once you see that, you gain an unfair advantage. You move faster, you take risks, you grow, while everyone else stays stuck, waiting for fear to disappear. It won't, but you don't need it to. Because now you know the truth. Fear isn't reality. It's a story your brain tells, and you don't have to believe it. But if you still hesitate, if you still overthink, then you're missing one critical piece. The system that lets you take action instantly, without motivation, without discipline. That's why I made this video breaking down how to rewire your brain for automatic action. Watch it next.